Hi, I'm with Kathy Woodward, Chief Executive Officer of the British Printing Industries Federation. We're here to discuss the relevance of the Federation to the wide format sector. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Kathy, though the BPIF markets itself as the principal business support organisation for the UK print and visual communications industries, very few of our readers really know too much about the BPIF, or really consider it an old boys network and representative of only the very large mainstream print companies. Do you think that's a fair comment?
I suppose you'd expect me to answer no. I don't in some respects. We've within the BPIF, we've got over 1,000 companies that are members, and they go from the big, large companies down to the very small, and it covers every sector.
Right.
So within our portfolio, we will actually have a variety of different print formats, different market sectors, and really a different set of needs from people who actually come into the BPIF. I think your point about people have got a historical view of the BPIF, and some people think of it as an old boys club. I think that's a hangover in people's minds, and that when they actually come to the BPIF, see what we do and see what we can offer, we're quickly able to change that perception.
Now, the BPIF's undergone quite a few significant changes since you became CEO last summer. Obviously, you've moved into new headquarters and you've radically changed the board. Do you think you've now got the structure and the people on board to take the BPIF forward, and in what direction?
I think our board structure is much stronger than it's ever been, really. And I think the reason it is strong is that we've actually gone back to the regions. We've got 6 regions, and we've gone back to the regions and sought their commitment and support in recruiting the right people. I think that's a process that had started before I came in as CEO, that we'd got people like Yolanda come on board with us. We'd already got Rupert Middleton, who is a very strong and very well respected within the industry. Gerald White's been a great stalwart for us. But what we've been able to do now with the help of the regions is to actually seek out specialist skills. Tony Garnish has come in as president. Tony's a very experienced business manager, has been in the industry all his life. He's not only got experience within the UK, he's got experience in America and in Europe. So we're looking forward to a very strong leadership from Tony. And then our latest 2 recruits. One brings very specialist knowledge, is right at the forefront of the digital printing industry, and then we've got another that's got in-depth experience of supplying to the multinationals and the supermarket chains. So we've now got a really balanced board. So I'm really excited about the way that they're going to be able to help us shape our strategy going forward.
The BPIF's membership currently stands at around 1,800. And I understand that you're trying to widen its appeal to increase that membership. Now, the wide format sector, I think, has always been rather sidelined as a peripheral part of the industry, but it's now seen as one of the fastest growing sectors. So does that put it more firmly on your radar?
I think it is firmly on the BPIF's radar, and it is seen as a growing sector. It's difficult for us to categorise how many of our members are principally involved in that activity, because many don't necessarily classify themselves simply as that, and many are now moving into that sector as they see the growth opportunity in it. What we have tried to do is, again, we're very strongly trying to take a lead from the regions of what do the regions believe are the areas that we should be focusing on. And we've now moved into creating an interest group around the whole question of digital printing, and that's really brought to the fore. Well, who should we be looking to? Who should we be looking to? How we want to shape that interest group, and obviously wide format is an area that we will be pursuing as we go forward.
What proportion of your members currently produce wide format print, and do you expect that ratio to change?
It's a good question to ask, and obviously before I came here today that was one of the pieces of data that I looked at, and it's actually very difficult to categorise who is a wide format and who isn't, because even how wide format printers represent themselves, sometimes they've got the name of commercial or whatever, but it is a growing area for us, and it is one that we're looking to focus on as we go forward. We have had discussions in the past with other trade organisations that maybe have supported that sector, and we are looking at ways that we can attract members into the BPIF.
What's the BPIF doing specifically to better represent wide format?
I think the wide format market is facing some of the same challenges that some of the other sectors within the print industry are facing. What I think we can help them do is let them analyse the market, and how do they talk to people who maybe haven't experienced those products before. I refer to them as the print virgins, the print virgin buyer. So you're actually selling a concept, and you're selling how that can be used to market and produce their products, rather than selling to experienced print buyers who've got a very, very clear agenda. And what I think we're realising now is that that's a different selling style, and what we've got with the Sales Academy is the beginnings of getting people to analyse that. What we're also looking at is how do people analyse their markets and identify who they need to sell to, who they need to influence, and how they need to promote their products within the general market.
So Kathy, how much scope is there for the BPIF to work in liaison with other associations? I'm thinking FESPA UK, for instance.
We do work together, and we had dialogue throughout last year as FESPA was developing its own future, really, and obviously that's an excellent network for people in this market. What we equally do is we're providing training and access to training funding that maybe FESPA doesn't have access to at the moment. So we like to think that we complement what FESPA are offering, rather than challenging or competing with them.
What's the BPIF doing to change the general face of print? We've talked quite a lot in the past over the move and the transition from analogue to digital and then into new media. But the talk's generally been about database communication. In wide format, there's obviously a lot of potential growth for the decorative print market, but there's a big education programme there. Do you think the BPIF has a role in that educative capacity?
I think you're right. I think we do have a role, and we need to make sure that we promote the full range of print activities, but of equal importance to, rather than focusing on a particular process, it is to, and I borrow from other people, the power of print and the return of investment on actually having a printed product. And that's an area that, I think we need to provide tools, we need to provide training, and we need to provide routes to market so that people can actually demonstrate to those that are buying print the actual power of it and what they're likely to get for actually investing in it. And again, I think it's something that we look to our regions to actually say, how do you want us to shape that activity? Yeah. One of the programmes that we do have at the moment is around the Sales Academy, and we work very closely with Power of Print to actually say how can those two elements work together so that we can actually support companies as they take their products to perhaps people who have not experienced them before.